drunken sailor, what shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning? Shave his balls with a rusty razor, shave his balls with a rusty razor, shave his balls with a rusty razor early in the morning. Hey ho, when up she rises, hey ho, when up she rises, hey ho, when up she rises.
And welcome to the Burger and Badass Show. We are back again every Wednesday like we always are to do our thing, do our football picks, and talk about college football and do what we love.
Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? Anybody out there listening? Everybody having a good fucking time? In fact, should I ask them if they even had a Merry fucking Christmas?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance because last show I was sick, not feeling good. And by the time the show was done, I was done. I used all my energy that I could use, and I slept so good that night. But I'm telling you, guys, I meant to tell you guys last week. I didn't get a chance to, but Merry Christmas, guys.
I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
That's how I feel about that. I'm done with this Christmas season shit. I've had enough.
Well, the good thing coming up is we have New Year's, which is going to be fun because there's a big bonfire going on.
That is true. There is going to be a big bonfire. Multiple trees, lots of packaging, a lot of shit that can burn.
You know, me and Badass, we both love fire.
Yeah, we're pretty good at making fire. That ain't no joke. We really are.
I think if we got stranded on an island, I think we'd be all right because we'd have a fire.
Tell you who's even better than the both of us at making a fire is my wife. She'll make a fucking fire in the pouring rain just like her mother. It's crazy. That's not a joke.
In the pouring rain.
Pouring fucking rain.
Man, I'd love to see that.
They're firebugs, dude. It's no joke.
But we are back for episode 14, and we are getting into the midst of the bowl games now. We're getting close to the end. We got about another week and a half of the bowl games, and then it's going to be over. I'm a little sad because we got to figure out what we're going to do next. I think we're going to go into college basketball. I think we're still kind of discussing it, but I think we're going to go into college basketball. But we still have a few more weeks left of college football, so let's get into it. Episode 14. Here are some headlines from college football this week. And the first one I want to talk about is Penn State will be playing without two of their players. Their starting linebacker, Manny Bowman, and wide receiver, Salih Blacknail. Now, they didn't state why they would suspended these players, but they said they both violated rules. Now, according to the defensive coordinator, he said, "I'm a Manny Bowen fan," Mark Price said. "I think this is a learning experience from everybody. I think everybody makes mistakes, and we're able to have everybody learn from their mistakes. I think we'll be better for it."
But do you actually think that anybody's really going to learn anything from this?
No.
That's the for everybody out there. I mean, y'all don't know, but I'm just a little extra salty tonight because I was really kicking ass in my pool. Because everybody out there, y'all know you got one going, and we got a pretty sizable one going. And I've been kicking ass in the lead, and this whole night's just been bloody motherfucking Wednesday. So you're gonna have to forgive me. It fucking salt's a little on overload, so I ain't buying whatever bullshit they're selling. They know what they did. They broke the fucking rules. You know damn well what they are. Anyone that's ever played knows this. And listen, this is how you hold people accountable. Y'all want to act up. Y'all want to demand money. Y'all want to fucking do whatever you want to do. Well, then you can adhere to some motherfucking rules too, can't you?
Yeah, and I mean, these guys, come on. I mean, you're at the point of the season. You guys know better than what you guys are doing. And you guys went out and blatantly broke the rules, and you should know better. And whether you're a starting linebacker or starting wide receiver or you're a second string, all these rules apply to you, and they're going to be enforced.
You're not special.
You're not special just because you're a starter.
No, in fact, if anything, they should hold you even more accountable because the motherfuckers that are under you look up to you. You're supposed to be leading them, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's according to, your seniors and juniors lead the freshmen and sophomores.
I mean, they look to you to know how to act in these situations. When they see you acting a fucking fool, well, guess what you're teaching them to do? Not motherfucking act right. If that's what you're thinking.
And, we've seen a lot of this year. Look at Minnesota. They had their 10 players suspended. We have Penn State now. I mean, this has become a little bit of a trend now this season. We're seeing players suspended right before the bowl game. I'm glad for these colleges they're holding people accountable for their actions. that's great, but you think it's going to affect Penn State now not having their starting linebacker and their starting wide receiver in?
Absolutely. I think that does change a lot. And maybe that's a difference maker in a game because you're talking about a key receiver on your offense and then you're talking about your middle linebacker on your defense. That's never easy because usually, not always, but usually your middle linebacker is the one that's calling your defense. They're usually your captain on field. So, I mean, yeah, that could come back to haunt you, especially when you're traveling 3,000 fucking miles across the country to play in the Rose Bowl, in which USC, usually when they play in it, dominate it. So, I mean, you're not starting on a good foot.
No, not at all. And speaking of the Minnesota Golden Gophers, I have an update actually on the Minnesota Golden Gophers situation. The AD, the athletic director, Mark Coyle, will be meeting with head coach football coach Tracy Claeys, as this week a petition was sent out for the resignation of his job. Now, from what I understand, there's about 1,000 people have signed this thing already, and they're saying that they feel like the 10 players that were kicked off of the team were kicked off for unjust reasons, because the police couldn't find anything, but the college seemed to find just enough to kick them off the team.
See, and I mean, I wish they'd come out and actually put in black and white what it is they know, because a lot of this is
all hearsay.
It is. It's a lot of hearsay, and it's a lot of really undocumented, proof. I mean, they're not really coming out and saying anything, because from what I was being explained earlier, my wife's been keeping up with this story in social media, and the way she has pretty much taken it is that these people are saying these players committed this act. She said the alleged act has been investigated by the police themselves, and the police even stated that the alleged act likely didn't happen because they can find no evidence of it, yet they're kicking people off the team. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, is it a political move, or are you just trying to make it a fucking statement? I mean, it's dumb, because the way I'm looking at this is if they're accused of doing something wrong, they said they didn't do it, and then it's proven to be true that they didn't do it, that should be the fucking end of it. There shouldn't be any vendetta, any political points, any get backs, any fuck yous. It should be over.
Well, badass, what I find weird in this situation is that reading this story and been following it for the last couple weeks, to me it's weird because you're getting both sides of the situation. You have the police that are trained people that are getting paid to go out and investigate this kind of stuff. And they're saying, oh, we have no evidence, we can't do anything about it. The case is closed as of right now, and there's no plans to reopen it anytime soon. That's what they said last week. Now, you have the college, on the other hand, they did their own investigation, and somehow they found out just enough to kick these players off the team. It just, to me, it's like, how can one side not find anything, but then the college is finding something enough to kick all these players off the team? And it's not just like one or two. It was 10 players.
Not to mention the fact is, I'm sorry, but the University of Minnesota thinks that they're better at investigating than the police department and their local municipalities. If I were one of those cops, I'd be pretty pissed.
I'd be really pissed.
I mean, I'm sorry, your fucking job isn't to actually investigate anything. I mean, we're talking about trained investigators here getting showed up by a university who is hell-bent on taking it to football players. Because, I mean, wake up, America. I don't know if you've been sleeping in the past couple of years or not, but every single big university is pretty much a radical left organization in and of to itself. And they've all had a vendetta against football. And I know you're going to make fun of me because I'm one of those coming for your footballers, but they are. They want to take that shit. They want to exit out of society. They don't want that shit there. In case you haven't woke up to it, the pussification of America has been on for a while, and this is how they fight the fight. They take it to the things you love. I mean, look at what the concussion protocol has done. You've gotten now to where football, you wouldn't recognize it if you were 70 years old, or if you're dead and we dug you up and let you watch it, you wouldn't fucking recognize it.
Well, here's an example for you. Our grandparents.
Right.
If our grandparents were alive right now, they came back tomorrow and they watched the NFL football, they'd be embarrassed by what it's become.
They would just tell you that money ruined it.
They would. Because, I mean, let's be honest with you, money rules the NFL.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get it that, something to do with college where they want to pay the college players to play, which I think is completely wrong because they're there with education and they're playing football, but they should not get paid for it. They should not get paid for it until they become professional football players and they get drafted on NFL draft day. And that's period. And I heard this rumor a couple years ago about them wanting to pay the players, and I said, that's ridiculous. There's no way they should pay a college football player to play football.
Let's not kid ourselves. These motherfuckers are already getting money secretly. I mean, everybody knows it. The players are getting paid. They're not doing it like it used to be done. But I'll wrap this all back to how I feel about these colleges is that they have their own agendas. So it doesn't surprise me that their administration took it to the football team and screwed them even after the police found them innocent. Because there's a vendetta, there's an agenda, and I hate to tell people out there, but I mean, you really need to wake up to the fact because it exists. It's really there. This isn't something that doesn't exist that you can stick your head in the sand and say, oh, it's not there. It's there. It's like when you go outside and you look up in the sky and there's a fucking sun. I mean, it's there. You can't dispute the fact that it's there because it's fucking there. So, I mean, I don't really know what else to tell y'all people out there, but this, to me, it smells of political horse shit. It really does. And, I mean, it seems like that shit has seeped into everything and has made everything horse shit because what else could it possibly be? I want you to answer that. Anybody out there thinks I'm wrong, thinks I'm full of shit, please let me know what you think it is and give me a more viable answer as to what it could be. I will fucking gladly hear you out.
I totally agree with you on that topic because I'm curious to see why Minnesota did their own investigation. Now, look, I understand if it's a cheating, hazing, some of the conduct on school property where they were at a party and they were smoking weed and got caught, drinking, something like that. That is a college issue. I mean, yes, if they're off campus, it's a police issue too, but college has the right to investigate that kind of stuff. Now, bigger cases like the rape cases, I think should not be investigated by the college. It should be investigated by the police only.
Or you can even take it a step further and say police and universities step out. We're bringing in the State Bureau of Investigations that most states have. Like, if you go to the state of Georgia, they have the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, state police. You go to South Carolina, it's SLED. If you go to Delaware, they got task force. It's, hand it over to the people who are straight pro at this shit and let them find out. Because as well as I do, most of the times if there's something there, they're going to find out. And people aren't dumb. They're pretty good.
They are. So, moving on. We talked about this last week a little bit. It was the Wake Forest scandal. And now the Wake Forest scandal is heating up a little bit because they just announced that the former player and announcer Tommy Elroy shared information with Louisville's co-offense coordinator, Lonnie Galloway. Galloway has been suspended from all participation from his bowl game and is pending an investigation on whether he's going to have a job after this or not.
Oh, shit. So it's heating up.
Oh, it's heating up.
Well, you know what? Listen, it's very simple. Don't cheat. You don't get caught. You don't get fucked. It's 1 + 1 = fucking 2. It's not fucking 1 + 1 = fucking chicken. I don't know what else is there to really say about this?
Okay. For instance, me and you the other night were hanging out and we were watching Netflix. And on Netflix, we were watching a show called Friday Night Tykes. If any of you guys don't know what Friday Night Tykes is,
that shit is fucking crazy. The adults act like fucking assholes over fucking child's football games.
But I do give the coaches a little bit of credit. They treat them like grown men.
They do. I mean, don't get me wrong. They are getting them ready for football. But, I mean, if you ever want to watch grown-ass adults get straight, stupid hype, I mean, dude, you can tell they're betting big money on these games. It's obvious.
But getting back to what I was talking about, in one of the games that we were watching, one of the shows, one of the big guys on the show had a chance to cheat. Somehow the referee handed him the opposing teams' defensive plays, so they knew exactly what they were calling when they were calling it. Now he had every opportunity here to walk away and throw him away in the trash, hand him back to the referee and say, "Look, you handed this by me by accident." What's he do? He sticks it right back in his pocket and he cheats.
Not to mention the fact that they were already winning a close game at 6-0, and it was staying close. But after they got their hands on that sheet, they started running over the other team.
I think I'm not mistaken. I think the final was like 41-7.
It was, and I thought it was like 32-0. I thought it was like a shutout. I'm pretty sure it was because they were the boys in them gator pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was 32-0.
It was.
You're right.
It was ugly as shit because I remember like he got his hands on it, and the second that they started understanding what they were doing, dude, it was over with. They started running the ball right down their throat.
They knew exactly what they were doing before they even did it.
And that's what it comes back to is cheating. You know, if you don't cheat, you ain't got to worry about it. But if you cheat, you're going to get caught eventually. And you know what? It serves you right for fucking cheating.
And Louisville's co-offensive coordinator had every chance and opportunity, just like that guy on Friday Night Tykes, had every opportunity to say, hey, to the head coach, hey, the Wake Forest announcer guy just handed me these plays. I think we need to turn these in to the NCAA and let them know what is going on over there and let them know that we did not have any participation in this.
And that's what a moral and ethical person would do. And honestly, that comes... Personally, I think that's a problem that we have going on nowadays that used to not be so big back in the day, is that whole question that most people back in the day growing up, when they would come to a situation in life, they would ask themselves, is this right? You know what I mean? Like I'll give you a real life situation. You're in a restaurant, the person ahead of you is paying their bill, they drop $20 out of their pocket. Back in the day, people would pick that money up and hand it to the person that just dropped it and would say, hey, excuse me, your money, and would give it back to them because they'd ask themselves, when they saw it on the ground, should I pick it up and keep it? And they answered in their head, their fucking conscience would go, that's not right. And they would give it back because they would ask themselves internally, is this right? I don't think people ask themselves that no more because if someone was standing behind you in a McDonald's now and you drop money out of your pocket, that shit's theirs. You're done.
Okay, I got it for instance for you. Ready for this? You'll be proud of me, badass. The other day I was working at my store. I work at a retail store. And I'm not going to say which one because I don't want you guys stalking me out there, but I was working at my store, and the guy handed me money, and it was all folded up. And he gave me the right amount of money, and also in there was a $100 bill folded up. What did I do? Not even thinking about it. I walked over, sir, you handed this to me by accident. Here you go. You know what he said to me? He goes, I was actually looking for that. He said, you're a very honest person.
And you know what? It's because you were raised by good people in a good place at the time. And what y'all don't know, Delaware used to be a good place. But you were raised by good people, and I know you have a conscience. You ask yourself before you do something, is this right? Because yes, Berger over there could have taken that money easily and kept it. But I also guarantee you this, that shit would have kept him up at nights, and he'd have told me about it, and he, the first fucking thing he'd have said is, I did something wrong, because he's fucking got morals and ethics. But that's what it's getting to. These coaches, they're not asking themselves, is this shit right? Is this correct? Should I do this? They're just thinking, fuck that, I want to win. And I don't give a fuck whose soul has to be sold to the devil in order to do it, because you shouldn't cheat. Because personally, Louisville, this is how I feel about it. If y'all sorry asses have to cheat to beat Wake Forest, then your leader should hand back his fucking Heisman.
Wow.
You want to drop the mic on that?
Yeah, I couldn't even say anything. I'm speechless after that. But you know, from the Burger and Badass show, all we can say to Lonnie Galloway and Tommy Elroy is, you reap what you sow, buddy. And everything you get from here on out, you deserve it. Because you had every chance to go the good route and get away from doing this. And you decided to take the low route and to cheat and do something wrong. And now you're going to pay for it.
I think that you're actually going to be the start of something new on this show. You two win the douche lock of the week. You are absolute locks on douche of the week. Both of you.
Douche of the week.
Yeah, douche of the week. You know, you can add bag on there, or they can just call you bag because you ain't even worth the douche. But y'all definitely win the award.
So moving on, we actually have, I know the first 2 stories were like kind of like Jerry Springer style stories. But now we have a good story. UConn has finally hired a new football coach. Head coach Randy Edsall will be returning to coaching the Huskies next year. He was the head coach from 1999 to 2010, and he obtained a record of 74-70 as coach before leaving for Maryland. Now, I'm sure UConn's pretty happy to have him back, but in the same sense, he did leave on some bad terms. He kind of left at the end of the season, said he wanted to move on to something bigger and better. I don't see how Maryland was really bigger or better, but I think you would have done just fine in UConn and not even going to Maryland. But, you know, he's coming back and he's going to be coaching them again. I know some of the alumni are probably happy about that. Some are probably not real happy because of the way he left. But
let's be honest, you need him back. I mean, what the hell have you been doing since he left?
Not much. I mean, their record proved it this year.
Right. The echo in the room was just like bouncing back to him. I was like, ain't nothing going on in UConn. I mean, y'all are a basketball school. We say this frequently.
Kentucky, Indiana,
UConn. You joined the list.
You joined the list.
You're a basketball school.
Kansas. Forgot about Kansas.
I mean, Duke, you're trying.
Yeah.
You're trying.
Yeah.
You know, give you an A for effort.
Temple, they're getting a little better.
They're trying.
Hey,
give them an A for effort.
Yeah.
They're trying.
Yeah. But they're not like some of these schools that are like both basketball and football, like a Louisville.
Yeah, that's a good point because they are
like
good at
Michigan.
both. Yeah, they're good at both too. Ohio State, they're good at both.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that.
So, let's go ahead and move on to what happened last week in the bowl games. We had a lot happen last week. Some games were really big surprises. A lot of upsets that I did not see coming personally. And a lot of close games that I thought were going to be blowouts that were just not blowouts.
Yeah, I won't lie. We took a beating, like real bad, on our picks for the show. On my card, I did start it out real well. Tonight it's just kind of blown up and not went so well. But up until it was looking good. But I have to say, we took quite a beating on the card.
I mean, it wasn't that bad of a beating. It wasn't as bad as last week. No. Last week you took a real bad beating. This week was a little bit more respectable.
Fair enough. I can't disagree with that.
I mean, we actually won almost as many games as we lost this week.
Yeah. That's not really, that's not encouraging.
What can you say?
I mean, I really don't know what to say other than just the classic.
Oh no! We suck again!
I mean, I really ain't got nothing else for you on that one.
So let's go ahead and break down some of the bowl games that we had this week. On Thursday, December 22nd, we had the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. We had Colorado State versus Idaho, and Idaho was a 13.5-point favorite. This game surprised the hell out of me because I never expected two teams to score 111 points. Idaho won this game 61-50, and I'm just absolutely surprised that both these teams were able to score that many points. I mean, is their defense really that bad?
Well, I mean, they were on that Boise State blue AstroTurf, so and I think it did freeze over a little bit because they were slipping and sliding. I mean, it literally, like, we should have queued up a Little Richard song for that one because they were slipping and sliding, creeping and hiding. Been told a long time ago. I mean, they really were. They were all over the fucking field, man.
I mean, wow. I mean, 111 points in this game. I mean,
who took the over on that one?
Whoever did was the smartest guy in the world.
Yeah, I mean, even when they took it, they never imagined it was going to go $111.
I mean, but do you really think somebody like Farrell would have taken the over on that game? I doubt it.
No, I bet he did.
You think so?
Yeah, I bet he did.
But yeah, so we ended up losing that game because Colorado State was a 13.5-point favorite, and they ended up losing the game outright by 11. So we started off 0-1. Now we move on to the Friday, December 23rd games. We had the Bahamas Bowl. We had Eastern Michigan versus ODU. ODU was a 3.5-point favorite. And we actually won this game by the skin of our teeth as ODU won the game 24-20, a really close battle. We ended up winning this game by half a point.
That was one of those games where it really could have went either way because these are both really crap teams. I mean, Old Dominion's a good school. Eastern Michigan's not a bad school. But when it comes to football, I mean, it's a shot in the fucking dark with these two. I mean, that could have easily went the other way. It really could have.
All right, our next game, we had the Armed Force Bowl. We had Louisiana Tech versus Navy. And Louisiana Tech won this game 48-45 in a very close battle.
And you know what? I knew not to go with Navy, and I even went against Navy on my other card. Navy kind of fell apart at the end of the season, losing to people they shouldn't be losing to. I mean, they got beat by their rival. I really just think that was the gut punch that took it out of them.
But I was like, this game was almost a pick 'em because they were only giving Louisiana Tech +1 on this game. So it was almost a pick 'em.
Right, and Navy should have been favored by much
And Navy
more.
should have been definitely favored by 7.
Right, easily.
But I think and that had a lot to do with what you said before with the games they lost the week before that and the week before that. I mean, they lost to Temple and then they lost to Army.
And it just kind of looked like they were building bad momentum.
It did. So moving on to our next game, we have the Dollar General Bowl. We had Ohio versus Troy. Troy was a 3.5-point favorite, and Troy actually won this game 28-23. And Troy, I'm telling you, it's not a bad team. I actually watched a little bit of this game, and Troy is not a bad team at all. I mean, I saw them against Clemson earlier in the year, and I thought, oh, well, maybe that's the fluke. Playing against, a top 10 team, getting hyped for this game, being that guy that's going to upset the mighty Clemson, and they almost did it.
Well, they played a good game.
They played a good game. So I have a lot of respect for Troy.
That's what gave me faith in them to beat Ohio in this game, just simply because I knew Troy had seen the better opponents throughout the year. They had faced more elite talent, and you learn a lot by getting your ass kicked by elite talent. And then when the guys that aren't so elite face you, you can beat them.
So for the Friday, we ended up 3-0. We actually were perfect on Friday.
Yeah, no, Friday was good to us.
Friday was real good to us. So moving on to Saturday, December 24th, we had the Hawaii Bowl. We had Middle Tennessee State versus Hawaii, and it was a pick 'em. And Hawaii just came out and did exactly what we said they were going to do. They came out and just absolutely just dick smacked Middle Tennessee State, 52-35.
Well, see, what happened was Middle Tennessee State went up way early, and then Hawaii just started they got off that lazy streak. They figured out, hey, we can beat these cats. They really ain't. They're not as good as they're saying. And they did. They come out and laid it on them. Because, you got to remember, people, this team went all the way across the Pacific Ocean to get to Hawaii to have good fun in the sun. They're not really thinking about the game. They are, but they're smoking that good-ass weed. They're relaxing on the beach. They're sitting there getting their dick sucked by some little girl in a little lace skirt, whatever. I know that's pretty raunchy, but y'all can handle it. You'll be okay, snowflakes. But you're out there having fun in Hawaii, and they're used to it. So when you show up flat-footed and wore out from all that fun in the sun, they're going to take advantage of it. And they normally do. They don't have to go anywhere, and they play in their own bowl. They're playing in it. You ought to win. If you don't, you're piss poor.
You can't argue with that. You really can't at all. We both even said last week, we were like, Hawaii should win this game handily, and they did. And there was no doubt Hawaii was in control of this game right from the start to the end. So we ended up 1-0 on Christmas Eve. And of course, there was no games on Christmas. There were a lot of football games on Christmas for NFL, but no college games. So then we moved on to Monday, December 26th. We had 3 games. We had the St. Petersburg Bowl. I'm going to get it right, guys. I promise. St. Petersburg Bowl, we had Miami of Ohio versus Mississippi State. Mississippi State was getting -12. And Mississippi State won this game, but only won by a point.
Well, see, I went against them on the other card, and I don't know what possessed me to do it. It's probably because they were just giving a lot of points to Miami of Ohio, and I had a feeling Mississippi State would not play a good game. and they didn't disappoint because I went against them. And I mean, it was a loss on this one because I mean, for some reason, I was thinking about it. I mean, I just, it's Mississippi State. They're not really that good of an SEC. They're the middle tier to bottom tier SEC team. They got a decent bowl. I mean, they don't really give a shit. I mean, again, they're off having fun in the sun, not really thinking about the game.
I actually expected Mississippi State. There we go. See, I can say it now. I expected Mississippi State to come out and win this game because it's Miami, Ohio. I mean, come on, guys.
Hey, they drafted Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, but who else have they drafted since then?
I mean, good point.
I mean, they're Miami of Ohio. Mississippi State should have won this game, and I think you might actually be right. I think they were just flat-footed, kind of like the way Middle Tennessee State was. Down in the sun, enjoying herself, drinking some cocktails, getting some head from some girl down behind the alleyway. That's how they do it in Florida.
That is true. That is how they do it in Florida. Go to Ybor City in Tampa if you don't believe us.
Actually, my aunt lives right up the street from Ybor.
Yeah, I know. That place is rotten.
Oh, it is. I've been through there. I haven't stopped there, but I've been through there.
Oh, it's rotten.
It's like Seaford of Delaware.
Only worse.
Only worse, yeah. So we ended up losing that game because we took Mississippi State at -12 and they only won by a point. The next game was the Quick Lane Bowl. We had Maryland versus Boston College. And Maryland was a 2-point favorite. Boston College won this game 36-30. It was actually closer than what I thought it was going to be because I figured in this game Boston College was going to be the better team and they should probably win this game by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, they almost did. They kind of let Maryland come back around to it because they handled them pretty much thoroughly throughout the game because I watched it on and off. But Boston College outclassed them, and I figured they would because they're just tougher. They're better coached.
Yeah, but Boston College actually, I did kind of follow this game a little bit. I didn't get a chance to watch all of it. I got a chance to kind of check in every now and then. And it did look like Boston College was up at the beginning of the game pretty handily. And Maryland's kind of snuck its way back in there somehow. I don't know how they did it, but I don't know if Boston College just slacked off and said, oh, we're up by this many points. We don't really need to score anymore. We can just kind of sit back a little bit. And Maryland kind of started punching them in the face a little bit.
Yeah, they kind of let off the gas. That's what happens when people let off.
So moving on to the last one on Monday, it was the Independence Bowl. We had Vanderbilt versus NC State. And badass, you know a lot about NC State. The NC State was a 4-point favorite, and they actually won this game handily, 41-17, which to me was no surprise because NC State is another one of those teams, it's an up-and-coming team that you're going to see. They're going to be fighting for the top position in that division.
The way I look at them is they're not afraid to go down. They're not afraid to come from behind. They have a hard-nosed coach, and they can play, and they can beat really good teams. So it was no shock that they beat Vanderbilt. I expected them to beat Vanderbilt. I didn't know they're going to beat their fucking brakes off, but they did.
Oh, they beat the brakes off of them and then some.
That they did.
So going into Tuesday game, we were actually looking really good. We were 6-2 going into Tuesday games, and that's when the wheels fell off the bus for us. I mean, there's no other way to even say it.
I mean, it really did. It got so bad that all I could think to Berger, and I kept looking at him, and he'd just start laughing because I just kept doing that over and over and over again. It was bad. It wasn't looking good.
So Tuesday, December 27th, we had 4 bowl games. We had the Heart of Dallas Bowl. We had Army versus North Texas. North Texas was a 9.5-point favorite, and it took Army overtime to beat them, as they beat them 38-31. And I'm absolutely surprised because as hard as they played against Navy, and then going in and having to play North Texas, I figured this game, Army should actually win this game pretty handily, I thought.
Well, Army is decent, but that's a lot of points to give somebody. And North Texas can play. I took North Texas in the points on the other card. It ended up being a winner.
Oh, of course. But, Army, I mean, you think, again, this is another one of those bowl games that, Heart of Dallas Bowl, being playing Dallas, and you're North Texas, so you're not traveling that far. Whereas Army,
You're coming a distance.
you're coming a little distance.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if just Army was flat-footed, came out, and then picked it up and realized that, hey, North Texas is really for real, and they're playing us tough. We have to come out and try to win this game now. But, like I said, they squeezed it out 30-31 in overtime, but that was not a winner for us because we were given 9.5, and they only won by 7.
That's true.
Moving on to the next one, we had the Military Bowl. We had Wake Forest versus Temple. Temple was a 13.5-point favorite, and Wake Forest won this game 34-26, but did not cover our point spread as we lost by 5 points.
I don't know how they didn't cover the spread when they were being given 13 points. We won that game.
Oh, you know what? Hold on a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. See that?
I've been looking at your sheet wondering why you had an X there. 'Cause I was
Oh,
like, no, we won that
see
game.
that? See what happens when Berger does not pay attention? Berger does not pay attention, and he messes stuff up.
No, we definitely got that game. We won that one.
So we actually won that game. Sorry about that, guys. I just noticed that, and I'm glad Badass is here because he's always my second set of eyes.
I mean, you thought that it was, but there is light at the end of the tunnel.
There is light at the end of the tunnel because instead of being 0-4 for that day, we're actually now 1-3.
Which, hey, that doesn't sound great, but it's better than 0-4.
Exactly. 0-4 is like Buffalo Bills.
You know what? Shout out to Kelly.
So, we actually won that game. I don't know why I put an X there, but apparently I was not looking at something not right, but my fault, guys. Moving on. Moving on, we had the Holiday Bowl. We had Washington State versus the Minnesota Golden Gophers, which we actually talked about earlier in the program with all the stuff going on. We figured Washington State should win this game handily. And guess what, guys? We were absolutely wrong. And, you know, I was talking to Badass a little earlier in the week when this game came on. And after, like, when it was Tuesday night when they won, I said to him, I said, man, we went against your Golden Gophers, and look what they did to us. They came out, and they played with heart, and they won the game.
And Washington State took a fat shit.
They did. I don't know what Washington State was doing in this game, but Minnesota, I mean, it was a close game. It was a real good game.
That's what I get for going against the Gophers, man.
I mean, it happens, but we both thought that because of all this controversy and people not wanting to play, you know,
They weren't going to be motivated.
they weren't going to be motivated. And, you know, I don't know what happened in Minnesota, but apparently they got some heart.
Apparently they do. That ain't no joke.
So we ended up losing that game because we were giving Minnesota 6.5, and they outright won. So our last bowl game of Tuesday was the Cactus Bowl, and this one actually surprised me a lot. It was Baylor versus Boise State. Boise State was getting 8, and Baylor just came out and just absolutely just dick smacked Boise State around the whole game. I watched a little bit on this on my app, and it was all Baylor all the time.
Yeah, I took Baylor in the points on my other card, and I was actually sweating that game, and that's the one that ended up being the one that wasn't even questionable. Like, they had it in the bag the whole time. It was retarded. I didn't get it. Because I was sitting there sweating. I was like, man, I should have took Boise State, but who knew?
Yeah, I never expected Boise State to come out and just take a fat shit like that.
I mean, no, you don't, because they are a great program. I mean, they were going for their 11th straight 11-win season. Like, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, they are a great program. And Baylor just outclassed them. Baylor just showed them, hey, we're better.
Baylor actually looked, I have to say, Baylor looked like the Baylor of old.
When they want to show up and play, they are really good.
They are.
They are.
Can't argue with that. So moving on to our Wednesday games, we have 2 games that were finished up tonight. And then there's 2 games that are still going on right now. I'm going to give you guys an update here in just a little bit. But let's go over the 2 games that we have done already for today. And the first one was the Pinstripe Bowl. We had Northwestern versus Pitt. Pitt was a 5-point favorite. And a very big surprise because I've watched Pitt play several times this year. Pitt's not a bad team. I mean, of course, Northwestern's not a bad team either, but I felt like Pitt was the better team here. But Northwestern actually won this game 31-24. And I think one of the shockers of the week.
You know what rhymes with Pitt? Shit. Yes. You guys played like shit. You should have easily won that game. They knocked fucking James Conner out the game. You know, this is the fucking great Pittsburgh that came down to fucking Clemson and beat us in our house. Y'all are fucking like, oh, we're like unstoppable. Look, you fucking lose to Northwestern. Yes, they are tough, but goddamn, they made y'all look like assholes. And not only that, you sons of bitches have started this skid. Because ever since today has started, these fucking games have been going sideways. And honestly, like, I'm keeping track of right now. One game is starting to look like it's not going to go well for me at all. The other one's looking maybe promising. But fuck you, Schittsburg. You started the slide today because it has just been going bad ever since. So, again, you have ruined a fucking great mood of mine twice in one fucking year, Schittsburg. I hope y'all motherfuckers all die on a plane crash back up there. Fuck all of you.
Wow, badass.
I told you I was going to be salty as a motherfucking pretzel and New York street vendor. I done told you.
You need a Snickers?
Nah, I need a motherfucking... I need to punch some fucking unsuspecting person in the face.
Violent.
Hey, I'm telling you, I'm feeling it tonight.
Says the guy likes to walk around with a baseball bat in his hands.
Yeah, don't even talk to me about violence there, Negan Jr. I don't want to hear that.
So, of course, Pittsburgh ended up losing that game, and we ended up losing it. The next game, you know, I don't want to be the one to say I told you so, badass, but the Russell Athletic Bowl, we had West Virginia versus Miami of Florida. Miami, Florida was a 3-point favorite. And I remember I wasn't feeling good last week, and I didn't have a lot of fight in me. It was right at the end of the show. It was one of our last picks that we did. And I just couldn't fight for Miami like I should have. And I wish I would have, because Miami came out and outright whooped Country Roads 31-14. Like I thought they were going to. So, for me, Burger, to you, badass, my late Christmas gift to you, I told you so.
All I got for you is this.
This sucks camel dicks!
Yep, that's all I got to say for you. Because West Virginia was ranked. Miami was not. This should have not been anywhere near the ass whooping it was. Good. You know what? Hats off to you, you fucking asshole Hurricanes. You have not shocked nor surprised me at all this year, because you've not fucked me once. You've not fucked me twice. You've not fucked me thrice. 4 times now you have fucked me. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuck you, Miami. Fuck your new head coach, Mark Richt. Fuck all of you. Your program is shit. Fuck your Orange Bowl. Fuck your lineage. I hope Jimmy Johnson takes a fucking fat shit on your campus and then croaks. Fuck all of you.
How do you really feel, badass?
You know what? Fuck Schnellenberger, too. He started this whole bullshit.
But I actually saw this tonight when I was doing my research. You know, this is the first bowl game that Miami's won in 10 years.
That's actually not surprising.
10 years, this is the first one we've gotten under our new coach. And I'm trying to tell you, I told you a couple weeks ago, badass. I tried to tell you, but you won't listen to me. Miami is an up-and-coming team. I'm telling you, Mark Richt is running shit down there now. I'm telling you, next year, they're going to be fighting for that division. And it's probably going to be Clemson versus Miami, or Florida State versus Miami, or even maybe Louisville versus Miami next year.
No, you're right. They're up and coming for probation and parole. Maybe,
here we go.
Maybe they'll all get it. Maybe they won't.
Ha ha ha. They're crooks and criminals. Ha 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 ha. Yes, I know. They're crooks and criminals. You always say that. But I'm telling you, watch out next year, guys. Miami is going to be that team next year that's going to surprise everybody.
Don't be that guy that says Miami is back, because then they're going to go 6-6, and I'm never going to let you live it down.
All I got to say to a rebuttal to what you said earlier was, the you.
Okay, the you. We'll see. We'll see.
So I'm very proud as a Miami fan. I am so proud. We won a bowl game. Not only did we win, but we whooped their ass. In the other sense, I'm a little sad because I've kind of taken a liking to West Virginia this year.
They're like your stepchild.
They're like the little redheaded stepchild that, you know, you you like part-time, but you don't like him as your regular son. But I'm happy for Miami. I'm happy for Mark Richt for what he's done this year. They did have a few bumps in the middle of the season, but other than that, they've looked really good this year. And like I said, next year, they're going to win that division next year. I'm calling it right now. That's my burger pick for next year. Miami is going to win the division next year.
With a brand new quarterback that's never played a snap.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Cool. Hey, I also have a bridge in Kansas. The biggest sumbitch you've ever seen.
Here we go.
Dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. Hey, speaking of that, I sold Blue Guy today.
Did you sell Blue Guy?
Yeah, I sold it to Punjabi Bobby, MJ.
Jobby Bobby.
I gotta give my boy credit though, man. He did me right. He actually gave me what I asked for.
That's good. At least you got what you were asking for.
But I'm not gonna lie, I had to tell you the story off air because it involves said activities that I can't discuss. But yeah,
okay, I got you.
There's a funny story involved with this.
Well, be honest with me, badass. Did you shed a little tear when you got rid of Blue Guy?
No, but we talked the whole way there. I was like, Blue Guy, you've been my homeboy for 9 years. But now you're gonna be somebody else's homeboy.
It's like that dog you're taking out to the woods to give his final rest.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like old Yeller, giving the final rest.
Yeah, and
You can talk to him like, I love you, boy, but you know what? It has to be done. I'm sorry.
No, I did. It was a good parting because I was like, I was running out of gas the way there, and I was like, one last mission, Blue Guy, just get me to where we gotta go, and then you're gonna be fixed up. And that's the thing. I was like, you're gonna be fixed up, you're gonna be taken care of. And
Somebody's gonna buy you.
Somebody's gonna get their tax money and buy you, and you're gonna be a good Blue Guy for them too.
So, moving on to our other two games, which are actually in progress right now. We have the Foster Farm Bowl. We have Indiana versus Utah. Utah was an 8-point favorite. And right now, Utah is winning this game 23-17. It looks like just about the start of the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And Indiana has the ball, and it looks like about midfield.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking Utah should pull this one out and win, and cover. And it's looking like they will as long as their defense can hold serve and stop Indiana, which I have faith that they will. The other game, that's the more interesting one going on right now because they're more knotted up. It's in the third quarter, and it's getting to where it's iffy because that spread is lower, much lower, and
that actually is the Texas Bowl, badass. Kansas State versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a 2-point favorite, and as of right now, Kansas State is actually up 23-21 with 6:49 to go in the third quarter.
I'm telling you, Bill Snyder's a fucking good coach, man.
We both said that Kansas State's a good program, and so is Texas A&M. But we felt like Texas A&M here would be a better team. But Kansas State actually came out to play tonight.
They really did, and Texas A&M may actually have the more superior talent, but Kansas State's not going to go down quietly. They are well coached, and not only that, all three phases of their football team are solid. Like, they can actually pull some trickery on you on special teams, and normally they score on special teams frequently. Like, they're pretty good at that. They're very complete.
So before we get off the air tonight, we're going to try to give you one more update before we go and let you know how we finished off for last week. But as of right now, with the correction, we are actually 7-7 so far this second week. We're at 500. We're at 50%.
That's not too bad. We're gaining back lost ground.
And overall now we're 9-14, so we're definitely catching ground.
That's good because it didn't start good.
If we can get Utah and Texas A&M to win tonight, that's 2 more games right there. We're even closer to that 500 mark overall.
That's right.
That's what we're shooting for. All year long we were about 46, 47, 48% all year. And that's about the mark I want to try to end at. I want to try to end at right around 50%, if not better, for the bowl games, because that's what we've kind of done all year. And again, guys, we've said this numerous times over all the shows we've done.
We're going to say it until we're blue in the fucking face.
I mean, it's kind of like our motto. We're not Las Vegas guys.
We're not. We're just 2 guys.
From South Carolina.
Making picks.
Doing what we love.
That's it. No guff, no gimmicks, no bullshit, no bunkum.
So we'll definitely keep you updated on the rest of these bowl games. And like I said, we finished 7-7 for the week after the correction. and 9-14 overall. So I'm interested to see how we do now in some of these bigger bowl games, because now we're getting into the big boy games. This is where it gets serious. This is where it gets real. So we have a ton of games to pick from this week. And we're going to start on Thursday, December 29th, tomorrow. We have 3 games. The first one is the Birmingham Bowl. We have South Florida versus South Carolina. South Florida is getting minus 10.5. Now, I'm telling you right now, looking at this game, I watched South Carolina play this year. I really had a chance to watch South Florida play that much this year, but I know they did us well a couple weeks ago. But I'm thinking South Carolina, as much as you hate South Carolina, 10.5 is a lot to give South Carolina.
You're going to give an SEC team that many points against a team that doesn't even play in a Power 5 conference? I'm taking those points all day long, because South Carolina's probably going to come out and whip their ass and win this game outright.
I thought I was maybe I don't know, going delirious or something. But as soon as I looked at that game, I'm like, oh my God, how in the hell are they giving South Florida 10.5 points?
Well, that's what I mean. You're going to start the game off right off the bat giving South Carolina that many points.
Yeah, you're getting them a touchdown, a field goal, and an extra point out after that.
I'm taking it.
I'm taking it and then some.
Right. That's not even I didn't even think about that one.
I mean, that surprised me that actually they give South Florida that many points. What's Vegas saying?
Vegas has got it planted at 11.
That's not bad. I mean, they're thinking South Florida is actually going to keep up with South Carolina. I don't see it happening. I think South Carolina is just a better team, and like you said, you're giving a SEC team 10.5 points.
Right. Why would you even do that?
So we're going to go ahead and take South Carolina at plus 10.5. In our next game, we have the Belt Bowl. We have Arkansas versus Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is a 7-point favorite.
That's solid across the board. It opened at 6, went to 7. Over-unders at 61, but everybody's got Virginia Tech as the easy favorite. And Virginia Tech is better than Arkansas. Then again, it's the same argument. It's, you're going to give an SEC team a touchdown right off the bat, but this time you got an opponent that's better than you from another Power 5 conference, so Virginia Tech could beat them by more than a touchdown, but will they? That's the question.
And I think that's the big difference in those two games, is that you have an SEC team giving points to a person that's in a not really big conference, whereas you have an SEC team that's, let's be real, Arkansas, they're bottom of the barrel of SEC, versus Virginia Tech, who actually won their division and played in the ACC championship against Clemson. And Virginia Tech, I definitely think Virginia Tech here is the better team here over Arkansas.
I think so too.
I mean, you can't argue. I mean, Virginia Tech, the way they played all year, they played tough all year, especially in Blacksburg.
That's what I mean. They do play really tough at home, but they are the better team. I think if you made them play 10 times, I think Virginia Tech wins 7 of those games easily.
And you might have those couple that Arkansas might pull out some kind of miracle.
Well, yeah, because they can. And they are a decent team, but I think that Virginia Tech's better. I really do.
So we're going to go ahead and take Virginia Tech at -7. And our last game on Thursday is the Alamo Bowl. We have Oklahoma State versus Colorado. Colorado is a 3-point favorite.
I like Oklahoma State.
I've liked Oklahoma State all year. I'm not going to lie. They've done us good this year.
They have.
They have screwed us a couple times, but for the most part, they've done us pretty good. If you did a percentage of how well they did for us, I'd say they're above 50%.
I'd say so too.
They're more of the 70-80% bracket, I think.
We've taken them a mess of times, and they've paid off a bunch of times. They have.
So we're going to go ahead and take Oklahoma State at +3. Moving on to our next game, we have Friday, December 30th. Our first game we have is the Liberty Bowl. We have TCU versus Georgia. Georgia is a 1-point favorite. Now, in hindsight, you look at this game, you would think it's a pick 'em. Georgia's a really good team, and so is TCU.
Both have been playing like crap.
Both have been playing like crap lately. This is a game right here. It's hard for me to pick because again, my heart wants to pick Georgia because I think Georgia's going to win this game.
I do too, but my
But-
wife don't.
Your wife's saying she thinks TCU can come out and win, and they could do that. TCU's one of the teams they could come out and throw 40 points on you just like that without even blinking.
And she thinks it's going to happen. Also, just while you're with me here, we got a score update on both games. Kansas State has scored. It's 26-21. Kansas State over Texas A&M. 2 minutes 48 seconds to go in the third quarter. And Indiana has scored with 24-23 over Utah with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So it's back to looking like loss. Yeah.
See, I had to run my mouth.
Hey, it's not. Hey, that's what I'm saying. It's not good. I mean, on my other card, it's starting to tank. I mean, it's going to get to where I'm going to start eating losses and I'm going to fall out of contention. It's not good, man.
Not good.
No, it's Bloody Wednesday.
So what do you think about this game, TCU Georgia? I mean, we've gone with your wife all year long, and she's not done us wrong at all.
Go with her again.
I mean, she really thinks TCU's going to come out and win this game handily. Then I think we go ahead and take TCU because she's not done us wrong.
I agree.
Kind of like the Mormons. They haven't done us wrong this year. So we'll go ahead and take TCU at +1. And our next game, this is actually a very interesting game. It's the Sun Bowl. We have University of North Carolina versus Stanford. Stanford is a 3-point favorite in this game.
No Christian McCaffrey, no victory. I'm going UNC.
Oh, I forgot about that. McCaffrey's not playing. Oh, yeah. I'll definitely take UNC. And UNC's had very sparks of surprises this year and upsets.
And they are capable of beating Stanford. Don't let Vegas fool you.
So we're going to go ahead and take UNC at +3. My question is, McCaffrey plays, does that change your pick?
Oh, hell yeah. Without question. Yeah. He's a star player. I mean, he's responsible for like half their fucking yards. So, yeah.
In the words of Will Ferrell, he wakes up in the morning and pisses his excellence and thinks shit's awesomeness.
Well, the shit's awesomeness. I think I added that part.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I think you did, badass.
Yeah, I did. But yes, the piss excellence is definitely him.
Well, Ricky Bobby.
That's right.
So we're going to go ahead and take UNC at +3. Our next game is the Arizona Bowl. We have South Alabama versus Air Force. Air Force is a 13-point favorite in this game.
You know, South Alabama can play. They're not getting any respect. I'll take South Alabama in those points.
Really?
Yep. Sure will. Because I bet you they can hang with Air Force.
I mean, I know they're, the underling of the Alabama, monster that they are. You really think they can keep with Air Force?
I do. I really do.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and take South Alabama at +13. And that is a lot of points. Plus 13 is a lot of points
Don't let
behind
them
them.
fool you. South Alabama can play. Don't let them fool you.
Have you been sneaking film on me?
I'm just saying, I keep up with certain these little teams. Some of these little teams do get kept up with, and that's one of them.
So we'll go ahead and take South Alabama at +13. Our next game is the Music City Bowl. We have Nebraska versus Tennessee. Tennessee is a 3-point favorite. And this kind of surprised me that I have Tennessee as a 3-point favorite here.
I know, because you figure Nebraska would be the favorite.
You think the only reason why they're favored is because it's being played in Tennessee?
I do. I believe so, yes. And I think that's probably ultimately what's going to win the game.
Really?
Yeah, I like Tennessee minus the points.
Wow.
I know.
It's hard for me because Nebraska has been a good team this year.
I know. And trust me, I had to think long and hard about this one. I know.
So we'll go ahead and take Tennessee at -3. It's hard because, like I said, Nebraska has been such a great team this year, and Tennessee has been up and down all year long. It makes it hard for me to pick Tennessee and put all my gold coins into their basket when they haven't done hardly any shit this year, whereas Nebraska has looked really good this year.
But they also started losing at the end of the year, and it kind of started looking bad. Whereas Tennessee started good and went bad and then kind of got it together again. That You're giving them time to prepare, and it's in their own house. They're going to have the fans. They're going to show out. I really believe they are.
All right, so we'll go ahead and take Tennessee at -3. And our next game is one of the big bowl games, the Orange Bowl. We have Florida State versus Michigan. Michigan is a 7-point favorite. And I'm actually a little surprised at this game because I know we talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the bowl season, when we started going over some of the games. I think Michigan's going to outright win this game by a couple of touchdowns, 2, maybe 3 touchdowns. Because I think, like you said in the beginning, I think that they're going to shut down their quarterback. And he might start running on them in that first quarter, but I think after that, their defense is going to shut that shit down. And I don't think he's going to be able to run as much as what he wants to.
Well, it all depends if they stop Dalvin Cook. If they can stop Dalvin Cook, then Michigan's going to easily win. But if they don't shut down Dalvin Cook, Florida State +7 looks really good. And it's kind of hard to not want to take Florida State when you're giving them a touchdown. That's really hard to say no to.
I understand where you're coming from there, but it's Michigan. I mean, Michigan, look at what Michigan's done this year. They were almost a shoo-in throughout the whole year of being in the playoffs.
Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Michigan -7, and God help you if Florida State runs over them, because then you're going to have to hear my spiel next week.
Oh yeah, and I mean I'll take it just like a man, just like you did.
That's true.
I'll take it like a man, and
we will roll with Michigan at 7 because I will agree with the one thing: Dalvin Cook gets shut down by Michigan's defense, night.
Oh, yeah. I definitely agree on that. But the question is, can they shut him down before he does damage?
Yeah, that's a good
question. Florida State's been one of the teams this year that it really depends on which Florida State team shows up. I mean, the Florida State team that shows up like they did at the beginning of the year, they're going to give Michigan a fight, and then +7 looks really good. But if they show up like they did in some of their other games where they just absolutely got just smacked around, like North Carolina, I don't see Michigan not blowing them out in this game. So we'll go ahead and take Michigan at -7. And now we're moving on to Saturday, December 31st. We have a couple early games. We have the Citrus Bowl, LSU versus Louisville. LSU is a 3.5-point favorite. And I'm telling you right now, I'm liking LSU at -3.5 just because Louisville has been an up and down team all year long. They got all kind of recognition for being this team that's going to be up there and fighting for the playoffs, and then they took a big fat shit and they sucked. And I just don't have any faith in that or Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson is overrated. I think Deshaun Watson should have won the Heisman. I know we've talked about it over and over again, but he should have won the Heisman, period. And I think Lamar Jackson is a joke. I think he's not as good as what he says he is. And I think if he gets drafted, it's not going to be till a second or third round.
I think no Fournette, no problem. I think LSU is going to put that second string running back in. LSU is not going to have a whole lot of film on him. Ergo, they're not going to really know how to tackle him. And I think he's going to be hitting a lot of open holes. I think not having one of your offensive coordinators is going to hurt. I think y'all are kind of a little bit shook up. I think you've been falling apart. You got a lot of injuries starting to bewilder you. I think that y'all fed into your hype machine a little bit too much and you ain't paid enough dues. But when you do, you can step it up. But until then, I think that the LSU Tigers are going to kick y'all's ass, to be quite honest. I really do.
So we're going to go ahead and take LSU at -3.5. Next game is the Tax Slayer Bowl. We have Kentucky versus Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is at -4. And now this surprised me a little bit because I thought it'd be a little bit higher because Georgia Tech is a pretty good ACC team. And Kentucky, yeah, they had that one upset of the year. But sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then.
That is true.
So, to me, I think that was just a flash in the pan. They got hyped for a big game, and they came out and won. But overall, I think Georgia Tech is just a better team here. And I think -4 will be no problem for Georgia Tech.
And I tend to agree.
I just don't see Georgia Tech having any issues with Kentucky. Again, guys, we said it numerous times. Kentucky's a basketball team, not a football team.
I'll say this too. Kentucky, unless you are truly well versed on stopping triple option, you better learn real fast and you better play good assignment football, because that's what it takes to beat Georgia Tech is really good assignment football. And can you guys play that? Yes. Will you play it? Sure. But Georgia Tech will also put you to sleep and then bust off big runs. And I actually have faith for them to beat you by more than 4. I'd even say 7. So Georgia Tech, most certainly.
All right, so we take Georgia Tech at -4. Now we're getting to the big boy games, the playoff games. We got the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. We have number 4 Washington versus number 1 Alabama. Alabama is a 14-point favorite, and this one has pretty much stayed steady throughout the whole start of the bowl season.
Roll Tide.
That's all you can say?
Roll Tide.
You don't think Washington will even keep it close? Have you been listening to Walt Deptula this week? Walt Deptula is actually believing that Washington could pull an upset here.
You know what? He says a lot of shit, too. And if they actually were to pull up a lot of the tape of things he says, I think he'd be astounded about how wrong he is a lot of shit, too. So
I mean, he was very adamant. Like, I heard him today on the radio coming home.
Look, they can play a good game, and they're a great team. But listen, you're giving Nick Saban a month to get ready for you, man. Fuck you. You know, I mean, it's hard to beat Nick Saban when he's got a month to get ready for you. Check the fucking stats if you don't believe me, and then you can get back to me on that.
You're very comfortable with taking Alabama at -14.
Fuck yes.
All right, so we'll take number 1 Alabama at -14. And the next one is the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. We have number 3 Ohio State versus number 2 Clemson. And Ohio State is actually a 3-point favorite here.
Ohio State, you've never beat Clemson. Again, check your stats. You can get back to me. Every time we've faced y'all, we beat you. Everybody's like, oh, well, goddamn, they got to get one sooner or later. It's going to be later. It ain't going to be sooner.
You really think that Clemson's defense is going to have no problems with Barrett at all?
No, they're going to have problems with him, but we have problems with everybody. But you know what we also do? We overcome. We happen to just make one more play than y'all, and we're going to do it. We're going to do that too.
So you think it's going to come down to probably a last-second score?
It's probably going to come down to Ohio State's going to have the ball last. They're going to need a field goal, and they're going to get close. And it's going to be some big-time play. Ben Boulware is going to hit somebody so goddamn hard, he's going to knock him into the next fucking time zone. The ball's going to come loose, and then you're going to have big-ass Dexter Lawrence fall on it. And it's going to be Clemson taking a victory formation. It's going to be something fucking dramatic because it's never going to be not dramatic with Clemson. But I'm telling you, just, you know, did you see the write-up they had on ESPN today on Ben Boulware?
No, I missed that.
They're going to don't call him a dirty player, and they got to know him.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I did see that. I didn't get a chance to read it yet.
That's pretty good.
But I actually saw something on that. It said Clemson linebacker misunderstood.
Yeah. Hey, man, you ought to come into our skins more often, too. You might catch a glimpse of him.
Really?
Dude, that's his high school right down the street from our skins. He comes in there.
That would be actually pretty cool to maybe get his autograph.
Yeah, but just imagine you sitting in there on a Saturday in the off-season and Ben Boulware come walking on in there.
I'd probably have to take a picture of it.
Yeah, you'd probably buy him a hot dog.
Oh, I'd definitely buy him a hot dog.
Yeah, I heard that.
And you know, I'll be honest with you, in this game, you know, we've had a while to hem and haw in this game on what's going to happen. I truly believe that Clemson is just going to be the better team. I know I've said it for most of these episodes. I think Clemson is one of those teams of destiny this year that the only team that is going to be able to stop them is going to be Alabama. And it looks like it's going to come down to
We're getting a repeat.
number 1 Alabama versus number 2 Clemson in a repeat.
We're getting a repeat.
We're getting Alabama, Clemson, number 2.
And only this time, Bama's going in undefeated. We're coming in with one loss. And we're going to beat Bama. And we're going to have them taste the motherfucking shitty defeat that is losing a perfect season in the national championship. I'm telling you.
You know what kind of pie Deshaun Watson's going to be eating after the game?
Motherfucking delicious fuck you pie to the whole world.
I was going to say redemption pie, but fuck you pie is pretty good too.
Yes, fuck you pie is the best.
Especially when it's Nick Saban.
Yes, yeah, that's what I mean. There's no better way to ride high into the sunset.
I mean, I'm not even a Clemson fan. I'm a Notre Dame Miami fan. I've told you guys that all year long. I'm a Notre Dame Miami fan. And, Clemson, I've kind of come close to because I live real close to the campus and everything. So I like seeing them win the championship this year because they're able to do it. But I fucking hate Nick Saban. Nick Saban can go eat a big old fat dick as far as I'm concerned because I do not like Nick Saban. I think he is, yes, granted, he's a great coach, but he's like Belichick. He's just a dick about it.
Did he not have the common courtesy to give you a reach around?
No breakfast in the morning,
No call, no love,
no tap on the shoulder,
no lotion.
no lotion at all. Straight dry, just pounding.
Tell you what, that sounds like a good old fucking.
If you don't know, I'm still bitter about that game a few years back.
Oh, I see this.
I'm very bitter. Fuck Nick Saban. Go eat a big old dick, as far as I'm concerned. But getting back to what I was talking about, I think Clemson's going to win this game. I think it's going to come down to Ohio State's going to get the ball. They're going to drive it. And they're going to get to probably about the 25, 30-yard line. And they're going to go for a field goal. And it's going to be missed wide right or missed wide left. Or blocked. Something big's going to happen like that. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a close game. I said it when we were talking about the games earlier in the year. This is going to be a drag-them-out fight. But Clemson, I think, is going to be the better team here. So we're going to take Clemson at +3. All right, so moving on to Monday, January 2nd, we have the Outback Bowl. We have Iowa versus Florida. Florida is a 2.5-point favorite.
No, I'll tell you, Sally, Outback Bowl.
Me personally, Florida is the better team here. Yes, Iowa did, have that big upset this year, but Florida is just the better team all around. Yes, they had some struggles this year, but I don't see Florida having any issues with Iowa. I mean, 2.5 is really, I think that's an understatement. I think they're going to win this game by a touchdown, a field goal, maybe even 2 touchdowns.
I think Iowa's going to make Florida look like a bunch of shailers.
Really?
Bunch of shailers.
Who did you take on your picks?
I have Florida, and I'm regretting it. I think Iowa's going to probably kick their ass.
You think so?
I have a feeling, dude. Those assholes play really good games. They do. They play good. They play people tough, nasty, low score, 16-17 shit scores. I mean, they're like the king school of like showing up and saying, "Hey, we're Iowa. Don't forget about us. We can play." And then they do. And you're like, son of a bitch. These fucking assholes out here in the middle of fuck nowhere, bumfuck Egypt, America, can still play football. Call me crazy, but something tells me that Iowa's going to be a bunch of sneaky fucking bastards. Like
they did it against Michigan?
Yeah, like I'm having that feeling. I don't know why.
I've said it all year long about your gut. Is your gut saying to take Iowa?
Yeah.
If your gut's saying to take Iowa, I've always said we go with your gut.
Before we make the final decision, I'm going to ask Google something because I'm going to find out.
Uh-oh.
See, Outback Bowl. We're gonna find out what team wins, what you get. Because usually it's a bloomin' onion or some kind of fucking coconut shrimp, some bullshit like that. But they give you some free shit. Let's see, we're looking for it.
I'm just wondering where this is going about winning.
Hey, it's a free appetizer. Depending on what team wins the bowl game, you get a free appetizer. And I'm about to ask. Here we go. Yeah, okay, if Florida wins, you'll get a free bloomin' onion. I don't know what the fuck you're going to get if Iowa wins. I don't know what you get. But all I know is this. They're not about to hand out a bunch of fucking bloomin' onions for free. The team that always gets the bloomin' onion never wins a goddamn game. So I'm going with Iowa.
All right, we'll go with your gut and the bloomin' onion.
We're going with my gut literally and figuratively on this one.
We'll go ahead and take Iowa at +2.5. Our next game is the Cotton Bowl. We have Western Michigan, who was undefeated this year, playing Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a 7.5-point favorite. And, they're giving Western Michigan a lot of respect here, I think, because against a big team like Wisconsin, you would think they, kind of like what Alabama, they gave Alabama 14 points over a Washington team that is ranked fourth in the nation and won the division. And now they're giving respect to Western Michigan, who won their division and were undefeated this year, playing against a big time school in the Big Ten, Wisconsin, and only give them 7.5.
I think Wisconsin's going to kick their ass in sideways.
I think they're gonna realize what they've gotten into after about the first quarter, maybe even partially in the second quarter. They're gonna realize Wisconsin is who we thought they were, and they're gonna kick our ass.
I mean, I think they're going to play with them, and they're going to say, "Hey, we can play with you," and they will. But I think eventually that's just going to run out. I really do. I think in the long run, you're looking at you aren't the recruits that Wisconsin gets. You're just not, and I think it's going to show.
All right, so we're comfortable with taking Wisconsin at minus 7.5, right?
Correct.
All right, so Wisconsin at 7.5. Our next one is the Burger and Badass bowl game of the year. It is the Rose Bowl, USC versus Penn State. USC at minus 7.
I've been taking Penn State this entire time. I'm not going to back down now, even with the latest troubles. I don't care that they're going 3,000 miles across the country. I don't care that it's the Rose Bowl and USC and a blah, 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 fucking blah. I don't care. I'm taking Penn State.
Have you had like a epiphany or what, Badass? I remember a couple weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, you were talking about Penn State's bubble being burst and all this and that.
And it ain't never happened.
And it hasn't happened yet.
And they came back from 28 down to beat Wisconsin.
And win the division.
And should rightfully be where Ohio State is, if you ask my opinion. But the fact is this. Every time I thought they were going to lose, they didn't. And they've kept overcoming and rising. And you're going to give them a touchdown. Even if fucking USC wins the game, it's going to be by a field goal. It ain't going to be a touchdown or more.
Oh, no, this is going to be another one of those drag 'em out fight games, too.
Right.
Because both of these teams are up and coming. Like, they started off the season pretty slow. Well, Penn State didn't, but USC started off kind of slow, and then they got really good about a quarter of the way in the season to the rest of the season. Penn State, they struggled a little bit in the beginning, but then they came back and they shot off all those wins.
I mean, here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing USC being up 30 points to 28 points, and I see Penn State drilling a field goal to win the game, like 31-30. Like, it's going to be one of those games. That 7 points is going to matter big time.
So we're going to go ahead and take Penn State at plus 7. And just to let you know, I wanted Penn State too. I just was curious to see what you were going to say. Because I know you've been a real big Penn State hater this year.
Oh, I have. A Penn hater. Oh, yeah.
But, I was kind of surprised that you definitely thought that Penn State was going to win this game.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people are like, it's stupid. USC's going to win outright. And they might, but Penn State. They've been ringing true the whole time.
All right, so moving on to our last game, the Sugar Bowl. We have Auburn versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 4.5-point favorite.
I think Oklahoma wins this game by probably fucking 14 points or more. I think Auburn's going to get their asses run over because they're decent on defense. They can play, but Oklahoma's just better than you.
Auburn was one of those teams that we said when we were talking about the bowl games that they were up higher than they should have been.
I mean, Vegas had more faith in Oklahoma to be in the top 4 mix. I mean, obviously Vegas does their homework and they know what's going on. Apparently there's something to this, so I'm thinking that Auburn's going to get waxed. And I hate to say that, but I think Oklahoma's just better than them and they're going to prove it.
And Oklahoma's one of those teams that they can throw big points up on you. I mean, look what they've done this year in games that they've scored 40, 50 points easily.
Correct.
Against pretty good teams, too.
Correct.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they threw out 40 or 50 against Oklahoma State. It's not a bad team.
No, I mean, they just waxed their rival like it wasn't nothing.
They put out 40 or 50 against Texas, I think. Texas isn't a bad team.
Another rival, just waxed them too.
So I definitely think Oklahoma will definitely win this game by 2 touchdowns. I agree with you on this one because, yes, we said it all year long. Oklahoma is not the team they were of last year, but they haven't taken that big of a step back, and they're still one of those teams that have the chance of, coming out next year and being in contention for the playoffs next year.
Then they very well could. I'm not going to rule them out because they keep recruiting pretty well. And just so y'all out there listening, give y'all a quick update on these games. You got Kansas State over Texas A&M 26-21. Kansas State is second and goal at the Texas A&M 1-yard line. 9 minutes, 41 seconds to go in the fourth quarter there. And you also have Utah with the ball, fourth and goal on the Indiana 9. And they just kicked a field goal to go up 26-24 with a minute and 24 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. So it's looking like they're going to win this game possibly, but they're not going to cover that spread. And depending on whether or not Kansas State punches this one in, that's going to pretty much blow up and they just did. That's going to blow up the other game because now they're up 32-21, 33 pending another kick. So, it's starting to not look good. It's starting to look like Bloody Wednesday.
Hopefully, maybe we can bounce back with some of these rest of these games that we have coming up because we still have a lot of games to go.
This is true. We got a lot of games to go, and it's like on my card. There's going to be a lot of losses added to it now, but maybe we can bounce back and go on another winning streak because I had an 8-game winning streak. Maybe I can get another one going.
Hey, you never know with these cards.
That's true. You never know.
So that is going to do it for us for this week. Next week we'll be back. We're going to be talking about championship game. That's the only game we have next week is a championship game.
Pretty much.
And that's it. That will do it for us for this year for college football. But it's been a good year. We've done a lot of picks this year, talked a lot of shit. And we're going to be back and doing, like I said, doing college basketball once college basketball starts getting into full effect. Once college football is over with. The season's already started already, so, lots going on with that. So we're going to update you on what's going on so far, where everybody's ranked and everything, and who we think is going to make it to the NCAA March Madness.
And March Madness will be pretty fun, too, because everybody around here gets excited over the tournament. And I can already tell you that no matter what I'm doing at said time, I'm likely going to be taking off some time from work. And just to let y'all out there know, if y'all are married or you got kids or you don't want kids, you need to definitely think about this. Schedule a double vasectomy right around the tournament time, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to walk in and get your balls snipped on, but you're never going to be able to have kids again. So that's good if you don't want to keep fucking impregnating your old lady and having more kids, or if you just don't want them, you don't have to have them. The doctor's going to give you a great big old bottle of Percocets. He's going to give you a command that you are to do nothing for 3 straight days except sit down and do nothing. So it's a great time to sit there and watch a lot of basketball, sit there and have your nuts on ice, Percocets on deck, fat joint, nothing but football, and a doctor's order to not do shit. So, I mean, you need to put 2 and 2 together on this one and just say, hey, you know what I'm talking about?
Is that a direct order from Dr. Badass?
I think Dr. Badass is ordering people to just take my advice on this one. If you've been thinking about it or not even thinking about it, you might want to, because you're going to be able to just have 3 solid days of not doing anything, because your gonads are going to be sore and you're just going to pretty much sit there and just imagine the peace.
A quick story before we head out of here. I remember, was it last year or year before, me, my roommate Rob, and his girlfriend Stephanie, we all came down here. It was 2 years ago, Badass?
2
years ago, I came down here. And I think it was one of my first trips down to South Carolina.
It was.
My first trip down here, and it was right during March Madness basketball. And Badass was trying to take me all over the place and show me South Carolina. You know what I wanted to do? I just wanted to sit on the couch and watch basketball.
And be a bump on a fucking log.
And be a bump on the log. Because I love that time of year. I'm actually thinking about maybe taking off a few vacation days. So, we have March Madness coming up. We're going to have college basketball once college football ends. We'll talk a little bit about that. Remember, guys, go to Burger and Badass at Facebook.com. Or go to Burger and Badass at YouTube.com. Check us out. Let us know how you feel about stuff. Hate on us if you want to hate.
Bring me all that fucking hate. God damn it, I'm ready. Bring me your fucking hatred. Because all it's going to do is just make me it's going to make me happy. Just come on. Bring it.
So next week, episode 15 will be the championship bowl game. We'll talk a lot about that next week. And then after that, we'll get into college basketball. And we're going to maybe hopefully get into playing that game I was talking about a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to start that one up. We might have to do that with the start of baseball.
Yeah, right around March.
We'll perfect it. We'll get it to where we can put it on as a finished product, and then right when baseball begins, that's when we can throw it at them. Because you're right, we keep bringing up this concept in game to y'all. And don't worry, we haven't forgotten, but we're going to hone it, and we're going to get it perfect, and then because that's going to be a lot of fun, because that's when we can actually introduce fans to a game and have prizes and all that kind of shit. But it's a genuine idea. It's pretty cool.
So that is going to do it for us this week. Episode 14 in the books. We'll be back next week. Like I said, talk about the championship game, see who made it there, talk about all the other bowl games that happened. Like I said, we're into now the big bowl season. So we'll be talking about all the bowl games. And for Burger and Badass, I'll see you guys next week. Badass, you have anything to add to the end?
Get the fuck out of here, you degenerates.